Hello, everyone, and welcome to the STC World Championships 2025. I am here commentating one of the most hyped matches of the tournament, Chris versus Mal. Two of some of the best speed race players in the world. We're going to be seeing some crazy times go down. Just getting everything set up real quick. Sorry about this. So, basically, we're going to be seeing some crazy skips go down, some crazy movement by Mal. Basically, everything that you could ask for will be going on. Sorry, I'm just kind of stressed out because of 5-second intermission. Got AFK. Dude, AFK. Okay. Well, I'm here, Nuggly Eye. I'm gonna be bringing this match to you guys. So our first map is Cosmic Cliffside, where Chris is gonna be going for his first skip of the match already. So he's gonna be going for an M9, saving about 2 seconds over Mal. So, and I know Chris is so consistent at this skip. I mean, we'll see what happens. Oh, is Mal trying to skip as well? Mal is trying to skip as well. So, Mal obviously not being as well versed as Chris on skips. However, he is stepping up. You know, he knows that he's not going to win with skipless, so he gives himself the best opportunity possible by learning and hitting the skip in practice. Obviously, however, I mean, you only have one, maybe two chances to hit the skip before your run is automatically just slower, and if something like that happens, it's over. So you need to be very, very precise and very, very consistent to even have a chance of doing that. Both of them finishing 40-second runs. Mal's opting for even more practice, which I don't mind. Obviously, I'm so unsure how consistent Mal is at the skip. I didn't even think that he'd be going for it, so this is already kind of stepping outside of his comfort zone. Meanwhile, you know, Chris hitting skips in tournament, that's classic Chris, dude. This is definitely doable for him. Mal just chooses to AFK after a little bit in practice. Maybe wants a fresh start for practice too. And I think if the competitors have to rely on safety skipless, I do trust Mal a little bit more than Chris. So hopefully Chris doesn't even let it get to that point. However, you know, obviously with the skip not really saving too much time, I definitely could see it happening. Practice too. Chris hits it cleanly, but he keeps walking off. Mal hits it cleanly as well. These competitors are already so consistent at it. Yeah. Wow. I mean, already showcasing that we are in for a treat. And obviously, I mean, I thought this was going to be like a will win for Chris. However, if Mal can show up like he has already in practice, I mean, wow. Look at that. So this might be a test of speed rather than consistency that like I thought it would be. Mal really wants to get in all the practice he can. Obviously, Chris, neither of them finishing clear runs, but that is by choice. So I'm very unsure who will be, you know, I'm very unsure who will, like, what kind of times they'll be getting and how consistent they'll be, because obviously they're just finishing whatever in these practice rounds just to hit the skip as many times as possible. But wow, Mal seems so consistent. Both of them struggling a little bit for the jump after. That's a really weird mistake. All right, heading into round one. All right. Hopefully, we see both of them hit the skip on, you know, their first attempt. Round one. Chris starting out with a little bit of a ping disadvantage, but it shouldn't matter. Neither of them hit it! Chris with a quicker rebound. Mal's right there. Chris DNFs. He is unable to recover after a sloppy skip. Mal finishes a 16-6. Ooh, Chris, another death. Is just going to take the DNF early. All right. Neither of them getting the run they wanted to in round 1. I mean, the target time you're aiming for is 15 seconds or under, so obviously 16 and DNF isn't going to quite cut it. Round 2. Chris, I mean, oh, Mal hits it clean. Chris does not. Mal showing up. Can we see a 13? We can. 13-8 for Mal. 16-1 for Chris. Mal already counting a good time here. Chris already is in a position where he needs to get a skip now. Maybe even offer skipless if he needs to. Round 3. This already could be the make or break for Chris. He hits it. Both of them hit it. Mal gains a little bit of time on speed, though. Chris bonks a weird invis. Is going to be a little slow. 13-9 to 14-0. Mal again the advantage, though. Heading to round 4. Mal just one run away from a skip average being set. A clean skip run average, that is. We'll see how Mal does. Mal doesn't hit it cleanly. Chris does. Chris has such a slow recovery from the skip. Won't matter on this run, but in terms of average, it's not great. 14 flat is not what he's looking for. 16-1 from Mal. Chris is going to be in running, but he needs a very quick run here. All right. Both competitors really need to hit this quick. Both of them do. Chris DNFs! Has too bad of recovery off that weird turn. Mal finishes at 13-8. Chris, I don't know why it's so sloppy. But Mal's going to take Cosmic Cliffside to start up 1. Huge upset on map 1 already. I mean, I don't think it's over for Chris in any sense. However, I'd be very nervous if I was him. I mean, especially coming onto laser tag where Mal has the biggest advantage. You know, this is one of Chris's worst movement maps. Whereas Mal, very strong skipless competitor, will easily pull away. Maybe not. I mean, in practice, Chris is honestly having decent runs here. Mal isn't. Really. I mean, not up to what I expect from him. So we're going to be looking for probably 22 nines here. But obviously, Mal, huge confident boost after winning Cosmic Cliffside. Chris definitely had opportunities to, but I'm not sure why he kept making the same mistakes. It's just, the invis, I'm not sure how much he practiced Cosmic. A couple of those types of small details really matters, especially when you're playing with an icy avatar. You don't have the same type of momentum at all. And that clearly messed up Chris quite a bit. Round 2. Practice 2. Most hope to see Mal finish a clean run here. Chris, 23 flat in practice 1 is not too bad. That's what I expect from him, to be honest. But Mal should be getting 22 nines. Yeah, you can see Mal just honestly not really gaining time through every corner like I thought he would. There he did, but Now he is saving just a tiny bit of time throughout every corner, but ends up only Chris another 23-0. Mal just doesn't let us know what times he's going to be getting. He wants to say aura and nonchalant. If he takes a third practice here, that really proves how determined he really is to win this match. Oh, he doesn't. He gets exactly double Chris's time, which says something. Round 1. Round 1 here. Chris should be alright if he keeps finishing his 23-0s. However, up against Mal, if he plays consistent, he should very easily be able to get those 22-9s. Times of that sort. I already saving quite a bit of time on Chris. Oh, both of them honestly on a decent run here, though. Mal, much better turn there. Ooh, but Chris a better line. Oh, Mal just plays the ending so much better. 22-9 tie. Wow. Tied 22-9. That's exactly, honestly, that's what Chris is going to be looking for here. Because, to be honest, he is at a just as much of a disadvantage as Mal was on Cosmic. But that turned out an upset. So maybe we could see the exact same in upset here on Laser Tag. Round 2. Another 22-9 from Chris would be absolutely amazing for him. Put him in a really good position to at least tie. And obviously a tie increases the chances of an overtime so much. For a map that Mal is expected to just completely blow Chris out on, he's doing very well. At least on round 1 and in practice. Mal a little bit further ahead than he was in round 1, but no, they look very close. Mal 22-9, Chris 23-0, but I think Chris was slightly ahead at the end. I would love to check the touch on that, but Mal gains a little bit of IGT advantage. Round 3. Both of them on very solid average paces so far, but Laser Tag being a pretty consistent map that is to be expected. Ooh, Mal, not the best steams, but still comes out on top. Chris dies. Just as I said, the map was consistent. But Mal, it shouldn't be too worrying. However, it more so just means Chris has less opportunities to get a great run like a 22-8. Mal, another 22-9, stays consistent. Already locking the 22-900 average. Chris still fighting for an average, especially with the 23 flat. Not looking ahead of Mal. Heading into round 4 here. Must take for Chris. I mean, obviously Mal's now just going to be kind of full sending 22-8 attempts. And he's honestly not looking too bad on that right now. Sorry, I'm just checking something. Oh. 22-9 for Chris, 23-0 for Mal. That puts Chris right back in the game. Chris, 0.933 average. Mal, 0.900. So this truly is just a battle of just a 10th of a second. All right. Chris needs to pull off a great run here. Mal honestly is... Oh, Chris dies. He's not going to be able to finish out another run attempt. Obviously still locking in a decent average, however, I don't know if it'll be enough to overtake Mal. 22-9, that looked early. That looked very early. I could seriously see that being a 22-8 touch. Alright, Mal beating Chris by just 1/10 over all 5 runs. And obviously that last run definitely has a chance to be a 22-8 touch. As we head onto Dunes, one of Chris's best movement maps. And obviously, it's just so... Alright, we're going to be doing practice 1 again, which is that's just fine. As I was saying, this is one of Chris's best skipless maps. I mean, 22.5 Contender has touched 22.5 many times in the past. Mal having 22.5, this is probably the most balanced map. However, Mal's been on a roll. Practice 1. I don't know if Mal's... Oh, Mal looks like he does steam. Oh, maybe he doesn't. There are 2 different strategies: a safer steam up the slope or just trying to jump without any steam. And Mal looks like he doesn't steam, which is a slight bit faster, however, much less consistent. However, Chris seems to be taking the more consistent route. As seen as he's the only one approaching the end zone right now. Mal dying at the start to the walk-offs. Chris 32.7, 32.6 is going to be great to get in tournament for sure. Mal just finishing out. All right. Obviously, Chris, good start for him. However, we don't know if 32.7 will even be enough to dethrone Mal right now. Heading into round practice. I keep saying practice 2. Mal honestly does look like the underdog on this map. However, clearly shown by Cosmic Cliffside, that does not phase him at all. Saves a little bit of time by not steaming on that 3rd jump. However, I think Chris has much better walk-offs. They look neck and neck. Mal gaining a little bit of time, if anything. Just smarter walk-off, saves a tiny bit of time through every single turn. They look about equal heading into the end zone. Oh. Wow, Chris 32.6 in practice. He's looking very strong. That's exactly what he needs to get in tournament. Mal's the slope though doesn't seem to be messing him up very much, which is good to see for him. However, that's just going to gain time on Chris, who's using very consistent steam strategies, just wiggling his camera, losing a couple of frames, which doesn't seem like a lot of time at all. However, when you're on dunes, especially getting 32.6s, possibly 32.5 touches, every single frame matters here. Because the range of times these players are going to be getting is going to be bordering that 32.6, 32.5 territory. You know? It's going to be right on that border of 0.5. So every single frame you can save does count. Because I think this map really will come down to who can get a 0.5, who can get the most 0.5s, maybe. However, a 0.5 here would be huge for either of them. Let's see, Mal kind of does a little bit of wiggle on the slope as well, so he's not taking it like perfectly, which is a big advantage for Chris. I mean, a 32.600 tie is very, very possible for this map. However, especially Chris, I could see pulling out a crazy 0.5 touch. He's on a very good run right now. Very good run from Chris here. Good ending could honestly be the 32.5 touch that he needs. 32.6 for Chris, 32.7 for Mal. Chris off to a great start. Oh, Vag softened in for emotional support. Thank you. Round 2. Chris, if he can keep up this pace of 32.6s, will look very strong heading into the last 3. Oh, did Mal slope seal a little bit? Oh, Mal sinks. That's where his inconsistent slope strategy comes to bite him. Chris is going to need to finish this on a good pace, and he'll have a huge advantage heading into back 3. He's on a good run here. Not sure if it's 0.6 IGT, however, 0.7 IGT for sure. 0.7. Mal Slipping on the slope a little bit, 33 flat. Round 3 here. Chris just one more run and finishes out a solid average. However, he will definitely want to take advantage of his last 2 runs to try to throw some really risky attempts out to get a 32.5. Mal seems to take this slope very safe, losing a lot of time to Chris there. That is not what you want to do at all, but Chris falters. Mal's on a slow run, Chris falters. This doesn't seem like the best race. You know, I doubt this is the 32.5 touch for Mal, which, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter. Chris, again, is slowing down. Oh, bad ending. 32.9 for Mal. Mal can't really afford to make any more mistakes. Chris, however, does have a little bit of a buffer. Heading into round 4. Finishing this run, crucial for both, especially Chris, though. Just locking in a solid 32.6 average is huge, and Mal just so wide with the seams compared to Chris. Does opt for the seam approach just to get it consistent, but ooh, Chris, a little bit of a momentum carry, I believe, but doesn't seem to affect him too much. He's gonna still be, you know, 0.1 ahead of Mal heading into the end zone. He's on another good run. Mal hasn't been looking too strong on dunes at all. 32.7, 32.8 for Mal as we head into round 5. Just checking. Okay. Round 5 here. Mal needs to finish a clean run out here. He hasn't had super fast runs, but he opts for consistent steams. I seriously doubt if he doesn't go for some crazy walk-off here that this will be 0.5. Oh, they both make it through. Decent runs. Chris just saves, like, unlike any other map, Chris saves a little bit of time on every section. Definitely Chris showing off where his skipless skill can shine. 32.7 tie. Wow. Chris is going to take dunes on IGT, but we will see. In touches. All right. Round 1. Practice 1. Chris will again be going for a crazy skip here with the M9. Unlike Cosmic Cliffside, if he hits this once, I see it being enough. And wow, already in practice hitting it. It is fast enough. That's all Chris needs, then he can just safety skipless. He has so many attempts to make it. 24-3 in practice, already sub skipless world record. Mal just taking the DNF on practice 1. Mal's opting for the M9. Wow. Realizing that he really does not have a big chance skipless here. He cannot just run skipless. He needs to, you know, challenge Chris in his domain, skip. Practice 2. Obviously, with Chris winning Pastel Valley, that would make IGT 2-2 heading into map 5. Chris is so consistent. Easily the best Pastel player, skip player in the world. I mean, compared to anybody else to play Speed Race, he hits this so consistently, it's crazy. And he finishes a 22.9. Obviously, Mal, 30 seconds won't do at all. Because you need to hit... I mean, if Chris is going to pull 22s out in tournament, you cannot. Oh, he doesn't even know where to go. He hits the M9 though. Oh, I think Mal is opting for that other strategy because he's playing on 60 FPS. He's unable to do the edge hits that Chris is. All right. Round 1. I'm just very curious how Chris will fare in the real rounds. I mean, hitting skip both times in practice is going to be a huge confidence boost to him. However, he does need this map to stay alive. Mal, is he going to safety the first 3 with skipless and then head for skip last 2? I think that's what he's going to be doing, as that's obviously not the avatar you want for skip. Chris is going to go for it early, though. We'll see how he does. Misses. Oh, it's okay. Hits the M9. All right. Mal can, unless Chris, fails taking this safe with skipless, Mal's probably going to be out of contention unless he starts trying for skip. 23-3. Mal's 25-5 is just not going to be it. Chris already looking so consistent. Mal's already opting for M9 avatar. And is Chris going for skip again? I mean, another skip will put it away, however. And I think Mal is consistent enough to where maybe opting for hitting skip twice is actually a decent strategy. So I do like that play there from Chris. Round 2 here. Chris misses the edge it again. Hits the M9. Mal does not. Mal just fending for one more chance. Can't hit it. Cannot hit it. Chris is finishing another 23. 23-4. DNF from Mal. One more skip attempt will easily put it away from Chris, showing amazing consistency with this skip. I mean, this is, if you've tried this Pastel Valley skip, you'll know it's not a crazy skip, but hitting it every single attempt is unreal. But Chris knows that he needs it to stay alive in the match. Let's see what Mal can do. Needs to start hitting these skips. Oh. Chris flies out. Mal. Oh, just barely misses it. Chris just barely misses it. Both of them are fighting. Chris hits it. Is he opting for tree? Okay, Chris is going for a very bold strategy. He hits the tree. He hits the tree. 30.7. I don't. That's crazy, dude. And all of that for a 30-second time. Mal is already going to be counting at 25, so Chris just needs to count some skipless time. I really don't want him throwing this away when he doesn't need to. I mean, this is something that I've noted from Chris before. He will not back down. He will not safety in moments like this. He will. I don't know why he's trying for 3 out of 3 skip. Oh. He's not Mal. Chris, that loses a ton of time. Like, Mal could genuinely bring it back here. I mean, he's already 2 seconds down when you could easily go for an easier variation of the pixel. There's so many other options than just this. 25-5 from Mal, I guess. 27-1 from Chris. Chris's worst average is going to be a 24-6. So Chris is going to be safe in round 5 here. And so he'll be good. Heading into round 5 here. Mal is going to be opting for M9 just to get one last chance. However, if he hits this, if he hits this clean, he could win it. Barely misses again. Just barely. 2 of those attempts were so close for Mal. Obviously Mal's going to have a huge disadvantage on average, but he's going to be just so close to honestly taking Pastel Valley. Chris is going to finish with a 24.233 average. Mal 37.2. That's going to be counting for him. Okay. Map 5. Dragon's Lair. There is a skip on. There's multiple skips on this map. One of them's extremely inconsistent, saving about 7. Another one, more decently consistent. I mean, I would go for it at least once or twice if I was Chris. However, it only saves about a second if done perfectly. So it's not a huge time save. You only have one chance. And not only do you have one chance, if you fail to skip, you have to DNF. You either get a DNF or you DQ. Those are the only options if you miss the 1 second skip. Chris opts for skipless. I mean, he's boasting about a 28.5 in practice, but like, I don't think that's enough. Not that it can't win, but it's not a lock at all. I mean, I would have kept practicing until I can get 20. Chris is going for the wall hop. You know, the 1 second strategy involves a wall hop. I mean, if Chris hits it, that is an easy... Yeah, that's what Chris has to do if he misses, which obviously DQ. Chris is turning at the complete wrong time. I don't think this is something under pressure. It's just this is a very, very old route. This has not been used in world records for years now, and no one... This is not a practice route. There's no need for people to practice it, and so Chris is completely going to be he's not going to be fresh on it, is all I'm trying to say. However, the skip, if you get it down, it's not inconsistent at all. It's one of those skips, it's like Pastel Valley, where you can definitely hit it once or twice in tournament, you know? It wouldn't be something I go for all 5 rounds, but, you know, if Chris locks in a solid 28.6 skipless average, I definitely see him throwing the last 2 attempts. Not trying to improve his skipless, but rather hitting, you know, a 27.6 skip. But Chris is going to probably finish the skipless right now. I really am curious what he gets. Nope, neither of them finish it out. You know, really, I don't know what this fall is. I think superhero. Chris can't hit the edge wall hop. I really don't know why. I'm not trying to give him hints, but like oh, there it is. So it's doable for him. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this stream, you've probably never even seen this skip before, because it's been so long since he's using world records, been completely overpowered by the Mali launch, Yoshi launch, whatever you want to call it. Let's see how we can do again. He hits it again. I think he figured it out. All right, heading into round 1. Chris is looking on fire for wall hop. Round 1. Chris, if he hits skip, it might be over. And it all just depends on his... Oh, Chris is going to start with safetying. I really like that from him. I mean, Chris is known as a very bold player in tournaments, and to see him safety skipless his first couple runs is... I'm really relieved to see that. I was worried that he's just going to throw his first couple runs and it's just be over, but we'll see how he can fare against skipless Mal. They're honestly very close to each other. Mal's going to be using a different ending approach. Mal chooses not to in rounds. Chris gets a 0.1 advantage on movement. Chris takes a 10th on pure movement. He might not even need the skip here to overtake. Round 2 here. Mal needs to lock in. I mean, a 28.5 is so doable for Mal. He just needs to string together a nice run. I think he's using better skipless strategies than Chris, but he's not executing them very well. We'll see what he can do in round 2. No. Mal gaining a little bit of time on Chris on every section, especially here. Mal saves a ton of time. He's going to be not not too far ahead of Chris, though. I mean, Chris is going to be in this game for sure. Mal opts for his new ending. They tied 28-6. 28-6. 28-6. Chris is going to have still a 10th lead heading into the last 3. However, this is when, if I were Chris, I would get one more 28-6, then I'd go for skip on my last 2. Because, I mean, Chris obviously has the opportunity for a 28-5. However, Mal even more so does, you know? Despite the first 2 rounds, I still think Mal has the advantage on movement. Chris is going to be going for skip in the last 3. Obviously, if he misses this, I would still safety 4, maybe? He misses. Alright. Now, I don't want him folding under pressure. Mal just... All Chris does is basically throw away and give Mal an opportunity to get a really nice round here, which we all know Mal is capable of. Yeah. 28-5 from Mal. 28-5 from Mal puts him right back in. Mal already locked in a 28-6 average. IGT. So, Chris basically needs to hit skip on one of these next 2. Or, you know, get a crazy skipless round 0.4 touch. Would obviously put him right back in, but I think, you know Chris, you know how bold he is. I think he's going for his Roblox freezes. Okay, we'll definitely, obviously, a redo for Chris there. I don't know, because Chris was complaining about this earlier. This is not fake. This is real. 28-6 from Mal. All right. Run 4 for Chris. Was unable to get it. Was unable to play. Round 4. Obviously, not the best time to have your Roblox freeze, you know. Run 4 on map 5. It's like the exact same time Claw Chopper's internet went out just a couple hours ago. Chris hits the skip! Chris hits the skip! He just needs to get a solid tunnel and he wins! I don't know. It doesn't look fast. It doesn't look like a fast skip at all. Is it enough? It's a 28-2! It's a 28.2! Okay, Chris has a 28.467 average. That is beatable. That is beatable by Mal. That is just one... That is just 1.4 and a couple 0.5s from Chris. Chris is going to be going for skip again to maximize his chance because he already has a couple solid skipless rounds here. I mean, not that I doubt Chris skipless wise, but 28-6 is already almost the peak of his powers. He doesn't hit skip. If Mal gets a really clean run here, it could put it away for him. This will be a run where we need to check touches. Because Chris 28-2 on the skip is not fast enough to solidify it. Mal hits on a very good run here, 28-6. Okay. I'm gonna assume, yeah, obviously Chris is gonna DNF this one. Run 5. But extremely close match. Congrats to both competitors for putting on such a show. I will get to you immediately. I might be streaming very soon in overtime for this match. You know, Dunes could be tied. You know, Dragon's Lair could be tied. And there was one more. Laser Tag could be tied. Laser Tag could very well be a tied map. But congrats to both competitors. They both performed really well. I will get back to you. I'm just shocked. Okay, guys. Amazing match. Thank you all so much for watching.